Okay, we are ready to go. So I have the data set again here. All right, the percentage, the horror percentage is gone. We will calculate that later. I am going to go to the advanced menu and click on time series. And now let me explain the time series pop-up window. There are several things here that we need to be paying attention at. First of all, inside will ask you what the time variable is. And inside we'll try to make a guess. If inside the text that there is a variable called year or month, and that the values of that variable are correctly labeled, so if for example the year variable, the values of the year variable are 1998, 1999, etc., etc., inside automatically will know that that is the time variable in the data set. But you can select any other, by the way, right? You can open this drop down menu, and if you had a different time variable, you can also select it. So Insight is really good at making guesses. But in some cases, and we will see an example of this later on with a completely different data set, Insight is not able to make a guess, in which case you will need to provide the time information manually. You will need to tell Insight the time series begins in such and such year or in such and such month, and there is a number of subdivisions every year, right, by quarters or by months, etc. So we'll need to provide that time information manually. But in this case, we don't need to do that. Insight has already been able to detect that this is our time variable. And now what we can do is to tell Insight, or to ask Insight to plot one of the variables or more. Okay, so I'm going to select from the drop-down menu here, or this is scrollable menu over here, I am going to select horror. So I'm going to click on horror, and automatically you will see that these two options will pop up. Very important to remember for Mac users, this time series plot animate thing will not work anymore, just because we disabled as in Onyx. In the previous video you probably remember that we disabled as in Onyx. This will disable this option over here, so don't click on that because it will probably freeze Insight. But we can still click on time series plot. If I click on that, this will automatically create a time series plot with a trend line, as you can see, that we can save as any other plot in Insight. I can go to the file menu over here and click on save as, and the plot will be saved. But we can do more interesting things. We can plot more than one variable now. How to do that? It's something that we couldn't do before with the regular Insight menus. I'm going to click on and close that. I'm going to go just move the R console somewhere else, and then go, oops, the time series pop-up window has disappeared. It's probably behind. There you go. Here it is. I'm going to just move it here to the forefront. Okay, and now what we're going to do, what I'm going to tell Insight to do, is to plot more than one variable. In order to do that, you select one of the variables, then you hold the Shift key or the Command key, or actually the Shift key, music, and romance. And then I'm going to select three different genres: horror, music, and romance. And then I'm going to click, you can either, you will see that automatically Insight will know that you're trying to plot several series. You can plot them all as a single plot, meaning that all the lines will be displayed on a single plot, as you can see. Okay, they will be color coded. Or you can click on multi-plot. So I'm going to just close that, click on multi-plot, and Insight will create a different plot for each one of the movie genre that we are selecting. So you can select as many variables as you want. Okay, so short movies, thrillers, westerns, etc., and click on single plot, and all of them will be displayed. This is a mess, obviously, because we are trying to show too many variables. And click on multi-plot. I'm going to click on that, and each one of the movies or movie genre will be displayed as a separate variable. So as you can see, for example, that Western movies were really popular back in the between 1900 and 1920, but then they basically shrunk in popularity versus thrillers. Thrillers actually went up. Short movies were really popular in the 10s and the 20s in the past century. Then it went up again. Now the challenge that we have over here is that, again, we are plotting raw numbers. So we are plotting the total number of movies. It may be more appropriate in this kind of display to show percentages. So in between this video and the next video, I am going to create new variables. I'm not going to bore you calculating them all in front of you. I'm going to just close these, and calculate just one of the variables, and then I will let you do all the others. I'm going to basically calculate new variables that calculate for the percentage of movies produced every year that were westerns, or that were thrillers, or that were short movies, or romance, music, horror, etc. So I'm going to do just one of them in front of you, And then in the next video, you will see that I have already created all the variables that I need. Remember that if you want to create a new variable, you go to the variable menu, create new variable. My new variable is going to be called Western percentage, or percentage. Actually, I'm going to call them all with beginning with percentage and then Western. Okay, and the calculation is going to be, remember, open parentheses. The first variable is Western. You need to write it down as it is plotted over here, Western, divided by total number of movies. The total number of movies, the variable is called total films with a capital T and a period in between total and films. So it's just total dot films, close parentheses, and then star symbol, that is a multiplication symbol, 100. So basically it's the Western divided by total films multiplied by 100. Submit, and automatically inside will create, very quickly will create a new variable at the end of my display showing the percentage of movies every year that were Western. So I will ask you to do the same for every other category, for every other movie genre. Calculate the percentage of animation, adventure, adult, and create a column, design a column for each one of these movie genre. And then in the next video, we will see how to plot them all on a single time series chart or several time series chart in order to compare trends across time.